On our morning show today from WRCO, we're talking about all the great things going on in the Richland School District. Cari Stoltz is here, Marketing and Communications Director, and Amy Hardy, Principal of the Primary School in the Richland District, is here to talk about some of the fun things going on there as well. Well, first of all, happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
Thanks, Phil. You too.
Appreciate
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. I appreciate the Valentine that you gave me, too. It says, don't be an airhead, and it's got airheads. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, a little love into the life is always
love.
a good thing.
Yeah, well, I'll do my best not to be an airhead today.
We appreciate it.
So right now, I guess the topic of concern is probably the weather. Everybody's been talking about that, Cari.
Yes, it is. We live in Wisconsin. It's something we just have to battle with, and something we do every year. So we'll hopefully get a full day in today. But we just wanted to give everyone a reminder that when we do need to call school for a 2-hour delay or early out or no school, whatever it is, we'll always let WRCO know. We'll always let the 3 Madison news stations know. Those are our official channels. And then we try to get an email and a text and a Facebook message out to parents as well. But official channels are WRCO and the 3 Madison stations. So if you are questioning what your kid is telling you that there's no school today, those are the places you can always check.
Right, exactly. You can always trust, and you can call us too. Some people do, because sometimes you're like, especially if it's a delay and then it changes to a cancellation, sometimes you might not be able to believe your eyes, right?
Right. Yes, but those are the official stations, and we'll always try our best. So we'll always get those stations notified, and also try and get some notes out to parents through social media and all those things too. Okay. But in addition to that, if we are in school, make sure our kiddos are dressed right and appropriately. It's cold out, so I know some of those high schoolers walk around in shorts all the time, and but coats, gloves, hats, all the things those are good things. And also, if we have a late start on a Wednesday, we will go until 3 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock. So we haven't had one yet, but if it ever happens, just so parents know.
That's good to know. Some very cold weather coming up next week, and Amy, maybe we can bring you into the conversation, but is there a threshold for when students are allowed to go out for recess or not, as far as the cold is concerned?
Yes, at the primary school as well as at the intermediate, we use 0 degrees. So 0 degrees, including the wind chill. So if the wind chill's -2, we're inside for recess times.
That's good to know.
Otherwise, we're out.
And then, do you keep track of wind chill then? Or
correct.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, we check that throughout the day. Like today's an inside day at this point. Yesterday was an inside day with those wind chills.
Next week, I think single digits for the first 2 or 3 days, so it might be
wind chills are going to be below 0. It looks like into Wednesday possibly for next week is what they're predicting. So Mother Nature might change and throw us some warmth. That would be wonderful to spend some time outside in the snow for our kiddos to have that chance.
Burn off some energy and maybe get some fresh air. That's important, isn't it?
Make some forts.
Yeah,
have some
exactly.
fun.
So what do they do inside for recess then on those cold
Well, for
days?
inside recess times, we get a chance to work on some of those social skills, doing different games. Most of our classrooms have different activities for them to do, some dramatic play, imaginary play. So a lot of our students actually enjoy inside recess because it gives them opportunity to have more playtime and socializing with one another. So it's a trade-off. It doesn't get that large motor opportunity and to burn off that energy, but it does allow them to have a different kind of time in their day.
Recharge the battery a little bit,
Yep.
maybe. And I know there are some athletic events, girls regional wrestling, boys regional tomorrow. Richland Center hosting both those events, Cari. And so I know Laura and company are going to be keeping an eye on everything, aren't they?
Talk about burning off energy. So we got the girls coming in tonight. Today, even, I think some schools are planning to arrive at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. The boys are tomorrow. Basketball is in full swing. Boys got a win at Prairie last night. The girls got a win this week, so that was awesome. Lots of sports going on. And actually, I mean, it's hard to believe, but our spring sports will be starting some practices and open gyms and that kind of stuff here before too long, which just feels impossible with the snow and the weather coming up. But yep, we've got it in full swing and lots of stuff going on this weekend. Yes, there'll be a lot of cars at the high school for the wrestling tournament, and we are just hoping Mother Nature cooperates a little bit to help those schools get in and get over to the high school for that.
It'll really be a work in progress this afternoon because you'll be arriving for weigh-ins for girls wrestling about the time school gets out. Right. So you got to kind of coordinate that a bit, don't you?
Our principal sent out an email, and basically where like a lot of staff usually park in kind of that athletic lot, said, "Hey guys, you probably should move your car." So we have some spots open for the vans and stuff that are coming in. So yep, it'll be a time, but pack your patience. It'll be just fine. And then we've got the weather coming in too. So, yep, pack the patience.
And I know the WIA is kind of stringent on that you will have this event. So you just do the best you can.
Yep,
right?
We will do our best. And if there's announcements that need to be made, tune into WRCO.
We'll be here. Absolutely. And you mentioned the girls win, too, and that should not go unnoticed because they've been working really hard. You see that kind of upward movement and improvement, and for them to get that win, I think that was just, I think maybe a moment in the program that's going to turn things around.
It was an awesome night. I was there. Man, the roar that you heard and those girls are awesome. I have to give Kylie just a little plug. She and David June were at our board meeting on Monday night, and Eric Olson happened to ask her about it, and she's like, "Yep, we're getting it. We're getting a win. We're doing it." She's so positive, right? And I mean, that can be so tough when you just have had so many close ones and stuff. But man, she was such a positive person, and just really kept the drive in there, and then for her to sink those free throws at the end, it was just an awesome moment. So proud of her and the whole team that they really have kept a super positive attitude, kept working hard, and man, proud of those girls. Very proud of them.
3 free throws in overtime with 3 seconds left, and I talked to somebody else. They're like, "You don't see that in the NBA." I mean, they don't make free throws, that many free throws in a row.
It was amazing. It was such a cool moment. The uproar that came out of the student section, and then them to charge the court. It was a great night. So really, really awesome moment for those girls, and they've been working hard for it. So.
Absolutely. Some other things you had on the list today, Cari.
Yeah, just more stuff coming up. So we have actually we're in the middle of Career and Technical Education Month, so that is kind of a fun one. There's some stuff going on. They have a volleyball tournament coming up, and then there's posters in the hallway of all the kids who are participating in that. And I think even myself, not working in the school before, kind of had this impression that, career and technical education, and youth apprenticeship, all that stuff was really a more of a blue collar sort of initiative for our kids. And that's a big component of it. But there's a bunch of people who are working for marketing and logistics and doing all these programs that are really just fantastic. And then I highlighted Kyle Rotheray recently. He was the 24 recipient of the scholarship that goes with the Youth Apprentice program, and he's doing great. He's on his way to being a mechanic. Really helped him kind of decide that was really what he wanted to do. And so the more we can encourage our kids to take advantage of these programs, it's just awesome. And if anybody has questions or wants to know anything more about it, you can always contact the district. We have a great staff who works with career and technical education program, and they really are passionate about what they do and really want to help kids get involved in that. And so we're in the middle of that month, and then FFA week is coming up, and so there is an agricultural component to that too. So it's kind of dovetails nicely that those work hand in hand for them. But FFA week is coming up, and so next Friday, if people happen to see some tractors rolling up to the high school, it is bring your tractor to work, or not to work, to school day. Well, work too.
Well, teachers could,
yeah, for
if they
sure,
wanted to,
right?
sure.
If the teachers wanted to get involved. So that was coming up. If people happen to see that, that's always a fun day. And they have other dress-up days going on throughout the week. So it's really a fun time to celebrate those kids and that program. It is really awesome to see all the opportunities our kids have, even outside of the classroom, to take advantage of the programs that Richland is offering, and it's a really awesome time for them. So we're excited to see that happening. And speaking of, Kyle won the scholarship last year. We also have scholarships. Those stuff are due April 15th. Those registrations, applications, and the seniors, if they're listening or their parents are listening, it's a great time to get on those and get those applications in for that. So I will just put a small plug in there. You can find more information on the website. It's under the departments and academic tab. If parents are looking for that, that's a good thing to do. Get some dollars rolling for college.
And if someone is in the area, they have an idea for a scholarship, maybe in memory of somebody or a business, they can still do that, can't they?
They can. We'd love to see that. There's a whole night dedicated to scholarships, and a lot of people who are especially doing memorial scholarships come in and get to kind of talk about the person that they're giving the money in memory of, and it's a really special night for the kids as well as the community and the people who are donating those funds, and what a great legacy for anyone who's been in our community to help our kids go on to the next chapter in their life and maybe give them a little support and love Valentine's Day to do that as well.
No doubt about it. Amy, how has attendance been lately? Are we getting over the hump as far as sickness is concerned?
We're not quite over the hump. It seems to be that hump seems to be plateauing a bit. So we continue to have young ones that need to go home throughout the day. It's important to keep your emergency information updated with the schools. So if we do need to make a call during the day, we are able to get a hold of families or someone that can come get a little one that's under the weather. So unfortunately, no, keep that OJ, try and get some sunlight, fresh air as you're able, and stay warm. Those are all important pieces in trying to stay healthy as you can during this time. But we're not over that hump yet. We have typically about 25 to 30 kids out each day right now.
Oh, okay. Hopefully we get there.
We do. That is the hope. Hand washing's important.
Yes, it is. We want to talk about some of the fun things going on at the primary school, and you had art on your list.
We do. All of our art is one of our specials that we have. We have art. And in that, we do, right now, they're learning with Mrs. Muller about self-portraits. I happened to be in the room about a week ago, and she was trying to explain to the first graders where how your eyes are halfway between the top of your forehead and your chin, and then your nose is halfway between your eyes and your mouth, and just explaining all those pieces to the students and where the ears should be. And she broke it down so they could understand with language, rather than guessing whereabout does that go, because that's not usually how a child draws their faces. Usually their eyes are about the mid forehead. So it was neat to do that. And then they had mirrors out, so they were looking in the mirror and checking out where their hairline was, where their parts were. So she was really helping them step through that process. And that's just one of the activities that she's working on. That was with the first graders. But all of our specials engage in different lessons, different focuses throughout the year. I know PE just finished up floor hockey. So I happened to be in there the first day Mr. Jones, our Phi Ed teacher, was rolling that out. And it was simply holding the stick and then taking some yarn balls and starting to maneuver that yarn ball. And, teaching them not just with the end of the stick, to the ground, but to kind of have it even with the ground. And it was neat to watch as they gained those skills and became proficient with that through that process.
Hopefully he doesn't have to call high sticking very much.
No, he did talk about high sticking and how that's not part of what they were doing as far as setting the expectations. But no, I didn't hear him calling out any high sticking.
That's awesome. And music, yes. I know that's always prolific.
Well, we're actually gearing up for our concert. Mrs. Clary, our music teacher, will be having a concert on March 20th, so coming up next month, for our 5K through third graders. So the third grade students over from the intermediate will come over to our building to practice, and then for the actual performance on the 20th. So as parents are hearing their children singing new tunes at home, I know a couple parents mentioned to me just this morning how they've been hearing their child singing more at home. I don't know if that's just throughout the house or only during those shower moments, but we'll be having, starting at 12:45, the third grade will be performing, then 1:15 5K, then first at 1:45, and then second at 2:15. And we'll be getting all that information out to our families, but it will be the first time that we've hosted a concert like this at our school. So I'm excited to see how that goes throughout the afternoon for that. But we're looking forward to being able to welcome everyone right at the primary school.
Let's talk a little bit about books and reading. And was the school involved? I know there was a 1,000 books before kindergarten program that was going on through the Brewer Public Library, but was the school involved in that a little bit too?
Yes, they were. I believe Cari Stoltz was part of that. Sherry Johnson, and I think Megan Clerkin all were active in that whole process and getting that to be. Reading is so important for our students. As parents, even before they're coming to school, pretty much from the time you have a newborn, you can be reading to them. And it's not that they're going to understand every word, but they're hearing your voice, and cuddle up with them, get that quality time, and they associate reading it with a positive. But even after they're well able to read, or are able to identify letters and sounds, continue reading aloud to them, not only having them read to you, because that still is a special time for them, and you're going to be able to continue to model fluency, the rate that you're reading, you're able to do, the different tones, and all of that makes a difference when you're pausing when you're reading and pointing things out to a child that understands punctuation. At the end of the sentence, you pause. Those are all things that they can then learn from you, because at home, the parents are their first model. They're their first teacher. So anytime that can be taken advantage of, that's so good. But reading is important. Trying to have your child read every day with you on their own, or a little of both, is ideal.
Great at bedtime. Yep. And
great routine for that bedtime. You brush your teeth, your jammies are on, slow down, turn the devices off, and get out a book. And if it's been an awesome day for everybody, great, get out 2 books and celebrate that it was awesome, and you take 5 extra minutes to be up later because they've mastered their day.
Last year, we were announcing the brand new book machine. Now it's in its 2nd year. How's it going?
Yes. Our book machine, our students absolutely love it. It is celebrated not only for birthdays. That's a big part of the birthday celebration. They get a token and pick a book of their selection, but also for positive behavior. It's an option when we have our Hornet Way our Hornet Way drawings, which we do each week. Kids can pick a token, or they can pick another trinket from the prize box. And then we also have it where each teacher gives out each month some, so students are celebrated for their reading growth. And then the books are various level abilities, so it's able to meet the needs of all of our students from early childhood through 2nd grade. So anything from easy readers or picture books up to harder upper level chapter books.
So you call it Hornet Way? Is that?
So the Hornet Way is pretty much our foundation of our school on the PBIS. And it's focused on, we are respectful, be responsible, be safe, and be a friend. Those are our 4 guidelines that really navigate us through our days at school. So those are the expectations that we have for our students. And each year, at the beginning of the year, we take our students through the different environments, whether it's their classroom, whether it's the hallway, the bathroom, the cafeteria, the playground, and the bus. So we actually work with Cobuston, and they bring in buses, and we practice what those expectations in each of those environments are. And then throughout the year, they're revisited. Our school counselor, Mrs. Iverson, has made videos that help recapture, and so we're able to review as needed. And then after the holidays, when we come back, because that's a length of time for our children to need to reacclimate to the school environment and the expectations there. So we then revisit and kind of do a crash course in those days that we come back from holiday. But the Hornet Way is what our students, they hear it multiple times throughout their day. Every morning on announcements, we review it. So that when they're seen making some of those great choices, being responsible, respectful, safe, or a friend, they are given Hornet Way coupons by any of the adults in our building. And then they bring them in. Once they put their name on them, they drop them off, and each week we do a drawing. And multiple names come out of the box and are celebrated over announcements every Thursday.
So how do they earn a book out of the book machine then?
So the book machine is from their birthday.
Oh.
They get a token for their birthday. They can pick a token if their name's drawn from the Hornet Way pull or the prize box. And then, so if their name's pulled from the Hornet Way drawing, then they go see Mrs. Iverson and they can pick something from the prize box. And in the prize box, tokens are a choice. So that's how they can get it there. And then also, as teachers are recognizing their growth for reading, they may be given a token as well.
Great. Lots of ways to
It is lots
promote,
of ways. And
encourage.
It's a very exciting thing for them. So we want to continue that. And it's been possible with some funding from Schreiber last year to make this happen, to get the book machine. And then we're actually in motion for some grants to help with next year.
Good. Lots of positive things going on in the Richland District. We'll continue with more in a moment. Amy Hardy and Cari Stoltz, our guests on the Friday Morning Show. The Richland School District, our topic on the morning show today. Cari Stoltz, Marketing and Communications Director, and Amy Hardy, Principal of the Primary School, in to bring us up to date on what is going on. It is School Bus Driver Appreciation Week. Cari?
It is. We're so grateful for our relationship with Co-Bussin' and all the drivers that are getting our kids to school safely. I know they had done, I think they had a breakfast for them. Co-Bussin' was kind of in charge of that, and it is amazing to see all those buses come in the morning and at night, and it is really a dance that they all do, and especially with the cold weather and the snow and all of that, it's so appreciated, so important to get our kids to school. And I mean, yellow school buses are just iconic, so any opportunity to say thank you to those men and women that are out there and getting our kids to school, we appreciate you.
Yes, and all the extracurriculars too. Lots of late nights and weekends and
right?
whatnot.
Yeah, our bus driver was at the Prairie game last night, and I happened to see him, and man, he was cheering right along there with them. And one of the guys forgot his shoes on the bus, and so he went out with him and helped him get them. And I mean, those men and women I think they really love our school the way we do, and it's awesome to see them be a part of it as well.
Yep, and I'm glad they have a week for them, that's for sure. Something in the news recently, the school's kind of starting to move forward about maybe co-using the gym at the campus.
Yeah, I think Steve mentioned that we got an MOU back from them, so it will be a great opportunity to kind of use that space. And I've not been in the campus gym often, but I remember going in there. It's just gorgeous. So we have lots of events like wrestling, like basketball, like youth sports, all these things coming up. So the opportunity to have another gym will be a great benefit for us. And just working with our county and our city as much as possible. There was the forum last week, I want to say, where everybody kind of talked about the different initiatives going on and how all those entities are working together. So it's awesome to see the support that comes in both ways from the school for the city and county and vice versa. So we're a big part of the city and the county, and as much as those departments can all work together and have kind of those great relationships that really move our community forward is really a benefit to everyone. So we're excited to be a part of that.
Well, it'll be nice to see the lights on in the gym and being put to good use again.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so. Fingers crossed.
We're looking at that anyway. Forensics, they had a meet this week as well, I believe, didn't they?
They did. They're all off to regionals, which I think is happening in March, and then hopefully we'll get some off to state. Our kids are definitely able to speak for themselves and speak up, and there's all these different categories I had no idea from when I was in school. It's plays and broadcasting and just tons of stuff that they're doing. The middle schoolers, I was at their meet. So there's a great little pipeline of kids who are coming in, and man, those skills are just, well, obviously Phil, you're public speaking all the time, but these guys, it's just awesome to see them have those skills. It's public speaking is what the worst fear, just below death or something like that.
It's right up there.
So having our kids be able to really put themselves out there and do these things and see the success in it, and even if it's not a ribbon, it's still a success for life. So what a life skill to see our kids out there and doing things. They had a big number participate. I want to say there were 20, 30 kids who were on the list who were doing at least one presentation or one category. So awesome to see them participating in that and see our kids really getting out there and using their voice.
I did not know that middle school was included, so that's great.
Yeah, they had a meet. Their season's a little different, but they had a meet actually at the high school not that long ago, and so I got to go and see a couple of the presentations, and I mean, there's some really funny ones out there, and seeing those kids do what they love and really be out there in front of an audience and just, I mean, even getting up there and speaking, I would have been so scared to do that when I was that age. So it's really, really a joy and a benefit, and to see them putting themselves out there and really really doing something that's going to benefit them for a lifetime.
Yeah, all about life lessons. Solo ensembles, too, getting into band season, really, the push here now for Mr. Behrens and company.
Yeah, it was too funny. I don't know what we have for practice rooms at the high school necessarily, but there was a group who was in kind of the vestibule of the doorway and another group practicing in the hallway. And so they are using every space that they have available to them right now to get those practice hours in. It was fun. You kind of walked into that music rotunda there and you hear, I think it was 4 clarinets in the doorway who are practicing. I'm thinking it's probably a little chilly in there, but they were getting it done. And it's always great to hear music coming out of that end of the building.
Yep, getting ready for that. I know they've got another concert coming up here not too far down the road as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, yep.
Definitely. Let's ask Amy a little bit about upcoming. I believe you have screening coming up before too long again, don't you?
We have our early childhood 4-year-old kindergarten screening coming up. The screening is for children turning 4 by September 1st, and for children turning 3, where there might be some concerns for developmental delays. And then that screening will be taking place April 7th through the 11th, and that registration will open up on February 26th. So if you are interested and have a child that falls in that range, you can either give a call to our school or you can go right online on our school website. Again, that registration will open up on February 26th.
And parent-teacher conferences?
Parent-teacher conferences are also coming up on March 5th. On that day, no students will attend our district, but our conferences are from 11 to 7, so parents should be keeping an eye out for an email or a letter coming home in their child's folder, inviting them to come in for a time or to find out what time would work best for their schedule so they can learn about their child's days at school, the strengths, the successes, as well as any times of concern or that they might have anything that they wish to talk about as parents.
Do you have those twice a year?
We do have them in the fall and the spring, yes.
So you can see progress, hopefully progress.
Right. And in addition, anytime a parent wants to come in for a conference or meet with their classroom teacher or teachers, they can always give a call to school or email their teacher and ask for that. We do have conferences that happen throughout the year as well.
Happy Hornet events. I think you touched on it a little bit, but do you have those regularly?
So we have the Hornet Way that we follow as a school, and then our Hornet Way coupons that children are awarded. And then we also started last year Happy Hornet events. And that's when we're celebrating the great choices our students make as a whole. And they do something as a whole grade level or as a whole school. So like this past month in January, we did a snowstorm. And that was, we have these soft snowballs, essentially, and we have them in the gym. And for 20 minutes, the grade level participated in a snowstorm. We've also done a glow-in-the-dark dance the first part of the first semester. So every month we do something. And what it is it's the students that are not seeing too much of me for their behaviors and choices. If they do see me 2 or more times in a month, and I mean see me, not just a gentle reminder, but a little more than that. The families know because I'm giving them a jingle home. But those pals that might see me a little more, they would be reviewing the Hornet Way during that time with one of our staff members. But otherwise, I mean, it's most of the school that is able to participate in the Happy Hornet events, and they are happy times. And so that's a win, and we hope that we get to 100% of all of our students being able to participate in that every month.
You had a dance, didn't you?
We had a Valentine's Day dance last night, yes. Our PTO sponsored it as well as our 4K. And so, yeah, we had lots of twisting, shaking, moving, spinning. We had a few parents out there as well, not just our young ones. But it was a nice time, and so they were able to move around, have some fun with their peers, and just a good time and some good tunes. And a cookie, of course. That makes everything, because they weren't going to get enough sweets today.
No parents were injured, though, were they, when they were
No parents were injured unless it happened after they left or they were a little sore this morning. That could be.
So I can't imagine you being intimidating when you're talking about discipline, but the kids are, do they kind of, are they
Well, I don't know about intimidating, but we talk through what was your choice? Was that above the line, below the line? Was that a Hornet Way choice? Were you being a good friend? Were you being responsible? Those are kind of the questions. And so at the primary school, it's more often about a learning from your mistake and then talking through what could you have done different, and who do we need to repair a relationship, or how are we going to fix things with that person, whether it's with a student or with an adult. And then what are you going to do if it happens again? And giving them some of those skills and tools to be able to.
I think it's great that you put that out there, though, that they're not going to be able to be included in some of these fun events.
Yeah,
I mean, that would really stink if you're home and your friends are out there having fun, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying home. Hopefully, they're right at school.
Oh, I thought the dance was after the school hours. So.
Oh, last night's dance.
Last night's, yeah.
Last night's dance had nothing to do with the Happy Hornet event.
Oh, okay.
Last night's dance was open to anyone that goes to our school and their families as a family fun night. So two different things.
Okay.
Lots of fun stuff going on.
A lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, we do have a lot. It's hard to keep track of sometimes.
But again, it would really stink if you're like, oh man, my friends are having fun.
Yeah, if you knew your buddy was able to go, but for some families they have other commitments and can't make it, or just schedules with work. We get that, and so we try and have our events on different nights, so it's not always the same day of the week.
And that works out well. Cari, some of the things that you wanted to add here today?
The only thing I still have on my list is that open enrollment is open right now. So there is a link on the website for that. If any families know that their kids are going to be attending Richland next year and they do not live within the district, you can go ahead and fill out paperwork now for that. Families joining the district who are interested in joining the district, they can go ahead and fill out that paperwork now. And if you even have questions about maybe joining the district or think your kids might be interested in a change, always welcome to call the district, always welcome to schedule tours, always welcome to come in and see the buildings and meet principals, teachers, other students. Kids can do a shadow day if they want, any of those things. If you are thinking that, this sounds like the district for your family and for your kids, we really want to invite you in, welcome you, really show you what your kids can expect from a Richland School District education and their classrooms, and really have people feel comfortable if they're thinking about joining our district. I know that can be a big change for people, especially if your kids are already established in a district. But if you're thinking it's time for a change and Richland's on your list, we would love to see you. We'd love to welcome you and love to have you come see us and see what we're all about.
Very good. 100 days of school, Amy. I can't believe that many days have passed.
100 days have certainly flown fast.
And
but
you guys did
it
some
was
celebrations,
celebrated.
right?
Oh, yes. We had students with 100 curlers in their hair. Or
100 curlers. How would that many curlers fit in your
100 days? You've got to come up with it somehow. Or some of our students were dressed as 100-year-olds. We had a number of shirts that just said 100 days brighter, 100 days smarter. Our families were certainly creative, as well as lots of projects having to do with 100, whether it was 100 Fruit Loops, 100 marshmallows, or 100 popsicle sticks. There was an assortment in our building, certainly yesterday as we celebrated. And it's exciting to be able to say we've had the students with us for 100 days and have been able to see their growth in these 100 days.
So you're over halfway past, right?
We are over halfway past.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yep, already lots of plans coming in for the 25-26 school year. So it's unbelievable to me. It's my first, kind of transition into it. So it's crazy. We're well into 24-25 and already look eyes forward to 25-26, and lots of great work to do. About 100 days smarter, 100 days kinder, 100 days, all those things. So we're really proud of our kiddos.
Yeah, you're both very passionate about what you do, so it really shows through. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having us, Phil.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add today, or we hit it all pretty well?
Yeah,
okay.
We're doing good.
I hope your Valentines are good to you both today as well, okay?
Thank you, and you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Cari Stoltz joining us, Marketing Communications Director, and Amy Hardy, Principal of Richland Center Primary School on this portion of the Morning Show.